The Christmas Chronicles is a new Netflix Christmas movie starring Kurt Russell as Santa Claus. And it's a weird movie because at times it's kind of like fun. It gets that little bit of that Christmas magic. And the other times it's so weird and corny and it's like, oh. I mean, it's like so bad at times that's almost unwatchable. And it's just a mix. It makes a mix of a really weird movie that is, I don't know. It's odd.
Duck! Did he see us? I don't think so.
Up, Cupid! Up, Comet! Up! Ah! Hold on to something!
Santa Claus?
Live and in person. One night only.
Can you go ho ho ho?
I don't go ho ho ho. That's a myth.
So the setup for the film is that they're this family and they have a daughter and a son, and the father dies, in the intro, and the brother and sister are arguing. The older brother is stealing cars. Like right off the bat, it's like, maybe you should have gone something not quite that far. If you're stealing cars, you're already, horrible person. I mean, it's like, maybe have him steal a bike or something less of a criminal aspect. But, that's because it's important because later he has to steal a car for Santa Claus. So it's like, it's like, but then they're watching this old camcorder and they noticed a hand coming in behind them and placing a present at the tree from where the fireplace would be. So they're like, Santa Claus? And then they decide to set a trap for Santa, and they do. I mean, the trap doesn't work, but it wakes them up, and then they go and they jump in Santa's sleigh, and then when he realizes there are kids in the sleigh, it goes all crazy, and the sleigh crashes, and they have to do a fetch quest to find his hat, his sack of presents, his reindeer, and, the car or whatever. And then that's your movie. But, some of the stuff is not bad. The Kurt Russell as Santa Claus, I kind of liked him. It's like they're playing, a different... He's like, he's not your mama, Santa Claus. He has a red leather coat. And he's not fat. And he says, that's fake news. With a straight face, and it's like, oh, did he just say fake? Did Santa Claus just say fake news? Santa Claus just said fake news. Oh, okay. I guess you're gonna go that route. And the kids are okay. Judah Lewis as Teddy and Darby Camp as Kate. Although the Kate is kind of annoying, but they're fine as the kids that have to work with Santa and, have to bring Christmas joy to the world. And the stuff is kind of, I like some of the stuff. And then it gets so weird that it makes you go, whoa. I was watching this with my family after Thanksgiving dinner, and my brother literally said he tapped out. I'm tapping out, I'm done. And that was... At a certain point, around halfway in or 2/3 of the way in, there's two scenes going on at around the same time that are so weird that I can't imagine what they were thinking when they made them. And one is that Santa Claus goes to jail. And, it's fine. He's doing Santa Claus stuff. He's saying, oh, you wanted this and this. And he pulls out the gifts. And it's kind of funny. But then they put him in lockup in the drunk bin or whatever, and he starts pulling out musical instruments from his coat. And the one guy, he gives Stevie Ray Vaughan from the Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, he gives him a guitar, and he gives everyone a saxophone and a horn, and they're like, I can't play this, and they're like, I can play this, and they have, and the hookers, the whores. He gives them, dresses and gives them, the backup singers. And he has, all the criminals, form a band. And they perform these songs. And the police officer is how in the hell did they get those musical instruments in there? And it's they're singing like Kurt Russell is singing the song, and it's like, is this real, or am I on a weird acid trip? And then at the same time that stuff's going on, the kids are they found Santa's sack, and the sister like goes into it to try to find the elves to fix the sleigh and do all sorts of stuff they need to do. And the brother is like outside, and these white gang members come and find him like, what you got in that sack? And it's so funny that like then they kidnap him and take him to his boss, and everyone's white. And I mean, I know it's just kind of funny that they're in Chicago, and like it's like a white gang, and I think they like, okay, we can't have the gang be black, so they have to all be white. Maybe one slightly mixed race person, but no black people. Okay, we don't want to be racist. But it's like, okay. I mean, I think in Chicago, if there are gangs, they're not going to be mostly white, but generally. But but then they like the whole thing of like, oh, there's nothing in here. I'm gonna throw as all the gang members like reach into the sack and just bring out coal, and they're like, oh, the coal, I'm gonna throw it in the fire, and they have to fight over it. But as that's going on, the sister is in the sack searching for the elves, and the elves show up, and those elves, wow, they made some choices with those elves. Like the CGI for them is so bad, and then they're tiny little furry things, and they speak a different language, and that'd be bad enough. They're stupid looking enough, but then like they start attacking them, and there's stuff going on, and like the elves hop out of the sack, and like they take care of all the gang members, but then they find the kids, and the one elf, the one bigger fat elf, had a chainsaw, and he goes in between the brother's legs, and he's going to chainsaw his nuts off. He's like, ah! And they get closer and closer to chainsawing this 15-year-old kid's nuts off, and it's like, yeah, like no, like we're true believers. Like, oh, okay, I won't chainsaw your nuts off. And it's like, oh, is this real? Is this real life? Like, were you just about to chainsaw this young kid's nuts off? Like, you were going to chainsaw this kid's nuts. Like, that's what the elves that you're trying to sell me? And then they're all like, oh, they're happy-go-lucky, and they're cool elves now, and it's like, and then they start singing songs and stuff, and it's just like, oh my god. Oh. My brother tapped out of the movie when they started singing in the jail cell, and then I yelled to him, describing what the elves were doing now, like, they're going to chop this guy's nuts off, and they're like, what? Like, yeah, they're going to chainsaw this kid's nuts, and they're like, oh. That's the movie. And after that, the movie is just, it kind of goes into more standard Christmas stuff. They have to save Christmas. They have to deliver the gifts, and it's all just fine. Like that's what I don't get. Like when this movie is just doing some stuff, it's just kind of like a normal Christmas movie, and it had bits of this Santa stuff, like it's similar to the Santa Claus with the E at the end, and and a little bit like the Elf movie, like a little bit of stuff like that. But then it's filled with such weird things that something like this could only be made on Netflix. Like if there was anything else, like some film, like the film company would be like, "You're going to have the elves do what?" And like, nope, game over. You cut that out. It's like, and Netflix is just like, sure, why not? And it's a movie. It's a Christmas movie. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10, something like that. Like it's not, it'd be even lower, but it has parts of it are kind of charming. Like, I mean, parts are corny, but it's kind of charming. It has that, that Christmas movie feel. And other parts are so weird that it's just, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't recommend it, but at the same time, I also recommend it just because of how ridiculous it is. But thanks for watching, and check out the video playlist on my head. Subscribe to me in that Z over there. Thanks.